Only by a
Yeah,
minute.
we're never on time. Good morning.
Hello, everybody.
It is Friday, November 21st, I think.
Yep, at 10:32
Oh,
a.m.
we're not that late. Mm.
No,
We're
uh,
we're practically on time for the two of us
yeah,
this early in the morning.
and we just don't. I don't know if
And
anybody.
what isn't actually for once, it's been so cold and wet and gray here. We've already had snow.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, when I opened the blinds this morning, I discovered that it's a sunny day. It's a cold sunny day, but it's a sunny day.
Right.
So that's a lovely change from how life has been because I'm so used to like once we get snow, it just being gray until about April.
Mm. Well,
Not the case this year.
luckily here, in sunny Florida, South Florida, it's always, well, it's the weather is quite nice, but it's getting cooler.
Yes.
It is getting cooler. Oh, good morning,
Good
Suzette. How
morning, Suzette.
We are, talking because Suzette lives in Miami and I'm here in
Hmm.
the Palm area. And she's basically a train ride away. She's coming up this weekend. I'm so excited because we're doing our fountain pen. We have our South Florida fountain pen meetup. You
Oh,
know.
fun. I saw Jacqueline from Pilot was at the oh, she was at some she was presenting at some fountain pen event this week. Their local pen club, and it made me so jealous that like Toronto does have a pen club. We've got Pens and Pints. I never go to Pens and Pints, and I think I probably should start going because every time I see other people going to other pen clubs, I'm so jealous. Because really, the only time I get to see pen people in person is at pen shows.
Right. So we have a lot of people that sign up to be part of the South Florida Pen Club, and it goes far. It goes from uh, you know, down past Jupiter and all that, all the way down to Miami. So you got like a 2 hour span in driving. So we try to meet in the middle when we can. And yeah, so it's basically like a small pen club, but it's intimate. It's nice. And we have this wonderful Michelle. She's the owner of Everything Scrapbook and Stamps and More. And it's a
Ooh.
creative space, and she does workshops there and everything, and it's right in Wellington, Florida. So it's out west. It takes me about 45 minutes to get there from where I am. So, people live in close to the area or they're willing to drive there because it's a cool, creative space. And she got all kinds of stuff for journaling, for collaging, and we just have fun there. And she says, oh, no. So we can use her workshop area, which is pretty large. And because it's a workshop area, it's already loaded with paints and inks and everything. So when we go and test inks or bring inks to share and the whole bit, we don't have to worry about if we use the library and get those tables dirty. But we're very, very nice. We make sure we clean up our mess and everything, and then we also go shopping in the store because she's always getting some new, if you're into like all that creative collaging and washes and everything, she's got all kinds of cool stuff. So
Yeah.
good morning, David.
On the topic of inks and tidying up inks, many people this week caught a live stream where I was super upset about an ink bottle that every time I touched it was getting ink everywhere. And I do have to say, the side of my thumb, as I look at it, is still there's still some orange on the side of my nail.
Yep.
I do not think I will be keeping Troublemaker's mango because I got orange everywhere. My desk pad is covered in orange ink. The swatch card has orange ink everywhere, including where I don't want orange ink on it.
Oh my
Like,
God.
I'm done.
I don't blame you. I swatched 25 inks 2 days ago.
Okay.
So I get the Brillo pad out afterwards because it gets everybody. But some of the bottles are difficult.
Some of the bottles are really difficult. So I have 2 lids that are actually stuck out of the box right now. I've tried to open them. Mom's tried to open them. Totally stuck. Tried with rubber gloves. Totally stuck. I got in touch with the brand yesterday, and they've suggested setting them in warm water for 5 minutes because plat sometimes they get slightly over tightened and then like they won't come off, and so you have to soften the plastic, which is really annoying. But I do really like the ink, and so I'm willing to try it because I really like the ink. And
Right, but hopefully it won't.
it's the winter, so no one's shipping ink to Canada because it's as soon as you're below freezing, no one really wants to ship you ink.
It's like
Because
my favorite chocolate from New England for the holidays because they don't want to ship it to Florida because they melt.
yeah, like nobody likes to ship ink in the winter to Canada. Lots of the stores here will actually have on their website like what their last shipping date is. Some people have like first snow we stop shipping ink.
Yeah,
I think
because ink will freeze.
because ink will freeze. I think Wonder Pens stops shipping ink normally December 1st. I don't know if they've announced this year, but most people, like if you're Canadian, you stock up because you won't be able to get ink all winter. I don't need to stock up, clearly. I have enough ink, but I do really like these 2 inks. So I need to figure out how to get into the bottles.
Yeah, that would be nice. What ink got all over me is the Superman by Ferris Wheel Press. I don't know what the heck they do with those plastic stoppers or whatever, and they just
Oh, are they in the calligraphy bottles? Like the
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm just like
yeah.
pretty ink, but they need to figure out what something better because I don't want to waste ink on my hands.
Yeah. So there are many things I like about the calligraphy bottles.
Mm-hmm.
They're more stable. They're
Yeah.
really easy to grip onto.
Mm-hmm.
I hate getting that little rubber cap out.
Oh, it's awful.
It's awful.
Oh,
Uh, it's it,
it's terrible.
it's awful.
I did ink a pen with one of the Ferris Wheel Press ink that I got that I really like.
Hmm. I
Brown.
see. I have it too. They sent it to me a couple weeks ago. I think the swatching video of it's out. It's really nice.
Yeah,
Where's
it's very very pretty, and it goes wonderful in a new pen that I got in for Fountain Pen Day. I then afterwards when I was doing the little ad
there it
for us,
is.
yeah, it's so pretty, and it
It
goes
is.
so well in my black coffee tribute pen from Banu.
It would, and it's
It
such a pretty I love the gold shimmer
Yeah.
to it. I keep saying I'm off of shimmer inks, and then I keep going, but I really love shimmer inks.
Mm-hmm.
I think my issue with shimmer inks is cleaning shimmer ink pens because I still don't have an ultrasonic. And so every time I clean a shimmer ink pen, it's by hand. That is also a very pretty ink, Suzette. I do have Skies of Uproar. My Ferris Wheel Press package from whatever month. June, July, not July. Oh my god.
What is
October. As I keep naming inks and months. October, which was Skies of Uproar, just
Ooh,
arrived.
pretty?
It is. And it's very different than the other fairy tale inks I have. And I've got, oh, how many do I have? I think I'm approaching 30 at this point.
I I don't even want to discuss it. I use shimmer inks, believe it or not, mainly in Banu pens
Ooh,
because of all the sparkle and the shimmer and
yeah.
everything. And the Schmidt broad nib is like amazing with it.
It is. And you've just reminded me that I have spare Schmidt broad nibs, so I could stick a Schmidt broad nib into other pens.
Mm-hmm.
And I could make this pen sparkly.
Oh, yes. It's beautiful. Maybe, fingers crossed. They like my design, so you may never know. You never know.
Did you see what they launched this week, which was like the back room, like tester pens that we're never gonna make designs?
No, I have to go look.
Oh, let me see if I still have the link open for it.
Yes, I will have to go look. No, and I did get, and that's the thing, and it's like, please ship DHL. I don't like FedEx here, so please.
I hate FedEx.
No,
Yeah.
FedEx is terrible. I'm in a feud with them right now anyway over shipments. So.
I am in love with what is called Gem Number 8 in their Hidden Gems collection.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
which is like opalescent.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Oh yeah, the gems that's like good Suzette pen. Suzette,
Yeah.
He loves the that coloration. Yeah.
I also really like the hand painted one, the mini.
Mm-hmm.
Not a mini, but whatever. I can't think of its name off the top of my head.
I used to be like my favorite pen with Benu is the Euphoria because it's big and I like big pens, like some of the sections and stuff like that. Now I just got the new Tribute one.
The Euphoria.
Yeah.
I don't have a Tribute yet.
This is the Black Coffee Tribute, it's very comfortable.
Ooh.
And just a tad bigger than the Euphoria, so I'm happy with it. I'm very happy. In fact, I will do like a little review. And that's the other thing. I have so many pens that I want to review. It's almost like, when can I do it? Right.
So I'm the same. I currently have, and I guess we can talk about it because it is actually happening. I'm in a way doing Vlogmas this year. I filmed about 6 of the 12, maybe 24 videos if I get really productive in the next couple days. I don't think I will, but there's going to at least be 12 videos in November to supplement / are different from our normal content, that are more behind the scenes of the studio because people keep asking and I keep putting it off. And so I decided we're just going to stick it all in the same month. But one of those takes people through every single pen that I've currently got stacked up on my desk for videos. And some of them, by the time that video comes out, those videos will be out.
Mm-hmm.
Because I filmed that video 6 weeks ago. So some of those videos are already out. Some of those videos I've already filmed. Some of those videos, though, I know are not going to be out. People still aren't going to have seen those pens. Because there's a level of organization that I just don't have.
I'm just so well between all the traveling I've been doing, and then the other thing too is when you have autoimmune issues and stuff like that, it's almost like I have to learn to listen to my body.
Yep.
And for me to rest and stuff is just I get very depressed when I can't do things.
Yeah, I tend to dedicate 1 or 2 days to filming in a week. And then, because I can edit from bed. I can edit from my MacBook in bed. So I tend to, in a normal week, I tend to film Monday afternoon and Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of the week is, for the most part, editing.
Yeah.
And lives and whatever else.
Editing is, I can make it as simple or as difficult as you want it to be. I'm just gonna like take, just do a few cuts here, a few cuts there, whatever it is, and then be done with it. I mean, like I say, I do this for fun. I enjoy it. I was just in Colorado, and it's so funny because Colorado is a small pen show, but it does, like I said, it does pack a punch. We were busy, really busy. I was helping Kirk. It's his show, and it's a small show, but it was the whole weekend. It was really busy.
I think that's how I feel about Scriptus. Like, at the end of the day, Scriptus is a small show, but because it's a single day, because it's only 8 hours, it's not even 8 hours, I think it's 6 hours. It's busy. Like, there's so much crammed into the day that it's just so busy.
Yeah. It was, and there were a lot of, I got a few things there, shocker, right? And it was so nice because Kirk now is opening up his own store.
I heard about this.
And so we got to visit the shop and everything, and they're, doing some layouts, trying to figure things out. And I think it's going to be really cool for him, whether he opens up by appointment right now or he's trying to figure things out. But it's like he needs the space, and it's in a really nice town called Loveland, and it's quaint, and it's very nice, and I'm happy for him and Crystal and the family, and got to meet all his kids and stuff. So and then we spent a day going up the mountain. So Colorado was cool. I got to see Clarissa and Nusha and all my hang out with them for a few days before the pen show. So it was like a little vacation with.
So I don't know if you can answer this question, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Does the new store opening mean that Kirk is going to be attending less shows going forward?
He is going to pick and choose shows that he's going to go to.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So because is getting his business off the ground. I mean, you can't. Yeah, and he's going to keep busy. So he will. There's pick and choose. And weigh it out, I guess.
Yeah.
But right now, plus he has his son and daughter that are working for him too. So make it a big family affair.
Well, I'm looking at the 2026 calendar for shows because I believe Well Appointed Desk already has it out.
I'm not going to Philly this year. I made that decision because I want to do more travel. And so I already booked it. I'm going to California, and I booked Baltimore already. The hotel rooms are available. Book them if you're planning on going. And if you end up not going, it doesn't cost anything to cancel, as long as a few days before their cancellation policy.
So there are 19 US pen shows next year on the calendar and 2 Canadian pen shows on the calendar.
Wow. It's a lot of pen shows. And then I'm going to
that does not include Chicago Stationery Fest, San Francisco Stationery Fest, Little Craft Fest in Houston, Pen Paper Palooza, Florida Stationery Fest, or Stationery Fest in Brooklyn.
Right. Are they calling it the Stationery Fest in Brooklyn instead of Yoseka?
They are. They're calling it Stationery Fest Brooklyn.
Okay. Yeah.
Or at least that's how Well Appointed Desk has it labeled.
Okay.
That is going to be. Last year, Mom and I we did a calendar where we put them all out and we highlighted them all. Just to sort of know what was going on when. And I think I'm going to have to do that this year again because it is a very busy calendar because this is just the US and Canadian stuff, not including all the international stuff.
Right. Because I'm going to go to the Dutch Pen Show this year. I promised. So I got to make it happen, right?
Luckily, the Dutch Pen Show this year, according to this, is later. Dutch Pen Show isn't until June 6th to 7th. It's normally the first
weekend.
weekend. So last year it was like the 31st of May
Yeah,
and the
so
1st.
I guess the first Saturday, Sunday would be the 6th and 7th.
Oh, you're correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Which
So
is glorious for anyone who's so NAMTA, the North American Arts and Trade something or other, where all the distributors go to, has been moved into May after Chicago. So it's probably a good thing that there's a little bit of a break between Chicago, the Dutch Pen Show, and
yeah.
NAMTA.
Well, I know that I wasn't, I'm going to the California Pen Show and, as a participant, but now I'm going to be helping at someone's table, which is fine, but like, not like I'm scheduled to be there the whole time at the table. So I still can, but I also said, me, I just, Leonardo's going to California now. So,
Ooh,
yeah. So they're going to be at the California Pen Show. Hopefully. Yeah. When we talked about it, I said, oh, I'll come help. And
have they put out their vendor list yet?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Well, their Pen Show exclusives on the website are still the 2025 Pen Show exclusives.
Yeah, well, I did book the hotel room and I did get you can get your ticket, buy the tickets. Because they're only selling 150 VIPs.
And I heard that the VIP tickets are...
They're $100.
Yeah, but yesterday they posted like who was sponsoring VIP tickets, maybe?
Yes. Yeah, that's what it was.
Um,
And you know what they did last year? We got the VIP tickets, and they do a lot. We got a lot in our bags. It was like
I would say that Frank and the crew put on. I got to see a lot of the behind the scenes because of Empire.
Yep.
And through a friend last night, I got access. Bloomberg ended up writing an article on the Empire Pen Show. Which I knew about because Tom referenced it in his Gold Spot recap of the show, but I didn't read it because it was behind a paywall. I got access to it last night from a friend. And it was really interesting to hear the show's perspective from somebody who was not a fountain pen person, who walked into the room knowing pretty much nothing about fountain pens, and to hear their perspective of a fountain pen show.
Right.
And our hobby. That was cool. It also meant like I saw the behind the scenes of everything that was going on. And they were very organized.
Oh no, he's really on it and everything.
Yeah, like it was really great to watch. And also, as somebody who was working a booth, incredibly civilized, as Mom and I talked about in our Empire recap. I cannot remember a pen show where we don't have to get up at a stupid hour to be on the show floor, to set up at like 8 a.m. to have an open booth at 9 a.m.
No, I think that
a 10 a.m. setup or a 10 a.m. floor open was lovely because then, on the Sunday, you don't have to be down in the ballroom until 9 a.m. You get a civilized morning.
Well, that's the thing. That was my chief complaint with another pen show I attended where I only went in as a participant, and I felt vendors because you couldn't, even as a participant, you couldn't do anything because we would hang out. A lot of the vendors are friends, and after the show ended, we want to go for dinner. But you had to be back. You couldn't. They gave you like an hour for dinner to come back for an after dark thing. I said, you have people up at the crack ass of dawn, basically setting up, and the timing is terrible. It's just stretching it out too long. People need rest.
Yeah, like honestly, I I much prefer a pen show like Empire that opened to the public at 10 a.m. We went until 6 p.m. So you're getting the after work crowd,
Right.
which also means you're going to dinner at a normal hour. It's not, you're not done on the show floor at 5:30 and are then like, "Oh, we're starving, let's go to dinner." You're going to dinner for 6 and then at 10:30 you're hungry again. Like, suddenly we all had, like, 7 o'clock dinner reservations because it was a civilized time.
Right. Right.
Can we bring more civility into pen shows next year
Oh,
with
yeah.
the hours?
I think we should. I would, like, because I mean, they have suggestions. What would you do to make it better? Even when we were out in San Francisco, as I complained in the past, like because being working at the table and stuff like that. I mean, it's overcrowded. Then you got, yes, people with strollers with babies in it is different than people in strollers with dogs in it. I'm sorry, but I love dogs and everything, but it's just too crowded. Some people had their, and then you have people in scooters or walkers trying to, handicap people, and they can't get by. It was just, and I said, you got to do something different or bigger space, or it was just too, couldn't even get to a table.
No, and there were times that not Chicago, there were times that DC had the same issue.
Yep.
I still think for a long time, Chicago was my favorite show this year. And I will say that for after hours, Chicago is my favorite show.
Right, right, right.
The camaraderie of the Chicago crowd, like pre-show, especially on Sunday morning when we're all exhausted, and after hours is just top notch. I love Chicago. But what I loved about Empire was that it was civilized.
Right.
There was space between booths so that when the fire marshals showed up and went, "Can you move these tables? We don't like how they are with the door." And they were exactly how the venue set them up. You know, we had space to move them because there was aisle space. There was space between every vendor, so no one had to squeeze past each other to get out of a booth.
Right.
I had conversations with vendors who went, "It's weird to be at a pen show and not be claustrophobic." Like, when did we decide being claustrophobic at a pen show was just okay?
Well, but think about it. I mean, with, you know, having it that crowded, especially where people still getting COVID, still, getting sick or whatever, and they have, it's just so packed. You either need a bigger venue or space it out different, have room, you can't be that, yeah. I
Yeah.
don't,
And the nice thing about that venue is that there's space to add more tables.
yeah.
There is space to add more vendors going forward.
Mhm.
But as Mom said in her or in our recap, if this was year 1, I can't imagine what year 2 is going to be like.
Right.
And she event plans professionally for work. Like, this is her industry, this is her job. And when the guys asked her if she had any notes or feedback for them, she had almost none. And that's really rare for her after a pen show.
Right.
Like,
Well, hopefully next year, depending on time-wise, when some of the shows are, because I'm definitely going back to Colorado again. But I'd like to do Empire, but then I'd have to see what other show I'm going to give up.
Based on the dates in the calendar, alrighty, I have a feeling it's going to be the same exact weekend.
Right. Well, there's Detroit, Empire, and then Colorado. So I don't mind doing 2 shows like back
So
to
you
back.
could give up Detroit and then go
Detroit.
Empire.
I did not go to Detroit. People are like, oh, come to Detroit. It's a small show, but it's fun. And I'm like, wait a minute. No, because I did go to Detroit after Colorado for a wedding. So I'm like, I'm not going to the Penn show because I'm going to this wedding, which was.
See, that's what tripped me up because I knew you had been in Detroit.
I went to a friend of ours got married. It was quite lovely. I've never been to an Indian wedding. It was a 3 outfits. I had to get 3 separate outfits, and it was amazing. The groom came in on horseback.
Oh, right.
It was cool. It was very, very cool. And got the henna, had the whole henna done and everything. But yeah, it was really, really nice wedding. Loved it. But yeah, so I just between knowing that I was going to Detroit for a wedding, there was no way I could go to the Detroit Penn show. And then and I'm giving up going to Philly because who wants, it's cold and snowy and.
I'm honestly still thinking about Philly. It's drivable.
Yeah.
No, we'll see.
Yeah. So, like I said, Chicago was great. One of the vendors that was there is Good Made Better.
Yes.
I love his stuff. I have a few of his things, but the one thing that I did get is this book weight. It is unbelievable. You can travel with it. It is weighty. And it's so nice because you just go like this. And when I'm journaling, especially if I sit outside and journal and I can put this down on one part of the journal and it weighs the paper down, I just absolutely love this thing.
I need one of those.
It is so cool. I just fell in love. I said, oh my, it works beautifully. I mean, I was out there journaling. There was another company that was at Colorado and, I got a nice binder or whatever, cover, basically leather cover. And, I started, doing some journaling with it. And this is what I took outside with me. And so this wouldn't fly away. I put this on there and I was able to, I actually enjoyed it. It was the first time in a long time my husband and I went and sat outside and had coffee out there. It's been, the weather's been, it was nice. It was breezy. So yes, and then I actually bought one of his ebonite pens and I don't have it here. I left it on my other desk.
Okay. This, Claire, is an interesting comment. And I have an opinion, but I would like to know your opinion. The comment is, I think most pen shows are more focused on the quantity of tables over the quality of vendors.
Oh, yes. Hey, Jorge. That is an excellent question. And yeah, maybe.
I think it is show dependent.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've been to several shows this year that are very pro vendor quality. In terms that I've even heard of them denying vendors tables, who maybe did deserve a table but didn't have enough of a history of being able to successfully vend at shows to be able to get a table.
Right.
And then I've also been at shows this year that I've gone. This is a lot of stuff that is not really pen related. I think it is very show dependent. I think it depends on who's running the show and how much they are curating their list of vendors.
I know that at some shows, some vendors were upset, or at a show upset And I'm talking about independent pen makers were upset because all of a sudden they were more independent pen makers. So like the independent pen makers versus the major brands were like, oh, I'm not going to have a good show. So they weren't sure whether they were going to go or not.
It's-
That's what I heard.
Yeah, see, I have less of a problem with them bringing in more makers because pen makers are still related to the hobby.
Exactly, exactly.
There are things though that are far less related to the hobby or not related to the hobby at all that I go, "Why are you at a pen show? How did you get a table here?"
Mm,
And I just think it's all about who is curating the list of vendors.
right. Yeah. 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 So I mean, I think um yeah, it can be. It can be. It's like you kind of walk past some tables and you're like, okay, you know, um, yeah. So
Yeah.
I agree with you. Uh, let's see what else. So Colorado, Scriptus. What else is, so you're done for the year now, right?
I'm done for the year.
Hmm. The only,
Canadian shows are done, and so I think I'm potentially done until Chicago,
hmm
which seems so far away. And I
way,
remember sitting here having the same conversation with you last year that Chicago felt so far away
yeah,
after Scriptus because it is basically 6 months.
yeah.
You
So
you go from seeing people every couple weeks to going months without seeing people, and it's a long time.
6 months is a very long time. I mean, I can't believe that I'm going to give up Philly and just do so now I can't wait for California. I say LA because we're flying, it's in, that's where you fly into is LA,
Yeah.
but the California Pen Show. But so I can't wait for that. But in the meantime, I am going to New York for Fountain Pen Hospital's Christmas event or a holiday event. So I do that. I go to, I go in and help out for that. And that's coming up the first weekend in December. So that technically will be my last thing. It's not a show per se, but it is, it's a busy weekend there.
It is, and it's sort of a show. You get to see people, you get to go shopping in person.
Yep. So I'll be there working at one of the, we take over. Sue and I going with my friend Sue Beck. She and I do the sailor and pilot and that
Cool.
area. So yeah. And
Did you see the new sailors released yesterday?
which ones?
They released
Boyd.
the Shikiori,
Oh, okay.
I
No, I haven't
believe.
seen those yet, but I did get it. I did get something in from Bungie Box.
Ooh.
Yep, because something I wanted and I ordered it from somebody else and he couldn't get it because it got sold out globally before people could actually order, like retailers could actually order it. It was kind of weird. So
Oh,
anyway,
never mind. They were actually released in Japan like a month ago, and they've only just been released in North America this week.
yeah. So and I did get the Sailor KOP matcha tea.
Ooh. See, I got I don't know where it is. Oh, it's here.
You know me, I like, so this is basically my fountain pen day. That's like, is that the Moroccan
No, this is scone.
scone? Ooh, that's
Scone, which was part of the afternoon tea collection 4.
okay. See, when I started getting into this,
Yeah.
or sailors basically, I didn't know. So I actually have the Kassan one that I bought from a friend. And then I bought this one, but I really do like so who knows, maybe that's in my future. I'm not a completionist. I don't like some of them, but I might want to see what was out there that I missed in aftermarket. Oh, David knew a scone. I have to, but did they do only, they didn't do it in the KOP size, did they?
No, they did. I think the KOP was the blue and white one.
Sailor, King of Pen, afternoon tea. And see what comes up. What would be like? I have Moroccan mint tea. I don't know if that's mine's called the Kassan that I have, I believe.
This is it. It's blue and white.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I have the Kassan. Oh, the blue and white afternoon tea. Yes, I didn't get that one. Limited, no longer available. So who knows? And then there was Christmas one too. Christmas time, Christmas tea, Christmas something or other. World tea time. Which one? Yeah, the Christmas tea. And actually, I may buy it from a friend if he's willing to sell it, but because I like that one. But yeah, anyway, I'm not a completionist, so it's not something that I need right now, right? We just got made a deal with someone that we know at Monte Grappa. They had a lot of pens in that either weren't released or in their back room, I guess you would say. So yes, we got a bunch of pens in, and I will be introducing some of them for sale. Or what we got them in at good whatever. But I did.
You get all the fun stuff.
Yeah, well, these are actually more affordable ones too. Not the like, I did get some of the Hemingways, but I got those for me. I only got one. I could get a one-off that whatever, but I got one. And then actually, this one here is really cool. It's called the Peace Pen. He had one left, so I'm keeping it. Some of the others we got like the regular Fortuna line in colors like yellow and red and like they're entry, I guess I'd say entry level, really nice Italian fountain pens. And I don't have so because they're still boxed. I got to take them apart. But this one, I love this one. And what's really cool about this one, the word peace is written on the pen. I forget how many times now in different languages.
That's
And
so cool.
also a fidget pen.
Ooh.
Can you hear the clicking? And I'm moving the barrel, the section here. And you can put where you want it to say peace when you write. So I put it in Japanese lettering or whatever that's there.
Wow.
And what's really cool, the nib is beautiful. It's got the peace dove on it. You can see that. But anyway, so it's really cool pen. I do love my Monte Grappas. And then another friend was, this one here is in an interesting demonstrator, and it came with a bottle of grappa. So, and forgive me because I don't have the name in front of me. I'll butcher it anyway. But on there, on the piston, is engraved Monte Grappa. Isn't that cool? So some of them, we got some other ones that are really cool. I call them we got roller balls, ballpoints, because you still need them.
You do.
Fountain pens, you still like sign a check. You want to make sure it's not in fountain pen ink, right?
Yeah.
So, so I just, the new Sailor, I think it did come in slim as well. I'm looking at David's thing. I came in Pro Gear, slim and regular Pro Gear, I believe.
Yeah, I want to say it came in Pro Gear Slim.
Yeah,
I might be wrong.
Yeah, I could be. I mean, there's so many pens out there.
And there's
And
so many variations of everything.
and I just sometimes I have to, if it's not in front of me written down, and there's just so many things that I'm doing, I'm just like, it's gone. Sometimes I have to like go, and if I'm going to talk about a certain pen, I research it so I know more.
All the time.
Have to all the time. Um,
Mhm.
oh, the Colorado Pen Show was Bone Crusher. Bone Crusher was there. And
Ooh,
pens.
yeah. Jeffrey really likes their pens.
I have 4 of them now. I'm not just because we was and it's so hard to tell, but you can't really tell because there's no light on here or shine, but it changes color. Like if one spot I can see greens and stuff, and then if I go in the other light, I see purples and pinks, and it's kind of really cool. And then, so I like these little sparkly things. And these pens here, I will actually put shimmer ink in them too. And they'd use Yovo nibs. So, but
Yeah.
I
It didn't come in a slim.
no.
It came in a King of Pens and a Pro Gear, and the purple one came in the slim and the rollerball.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't do like their whole line. 'Cause
Yeah, it confuses me why they don't do a set, because also for Scone, I wanna say that, like, they only did this.
yeah.
They did the Pro Gear Slim. There was no I don't think there was a Pro Gear for this collection. The blue and white one was a rollerball and was the King of Pens.
Hmm. I don't understand why they don't do the whole Pro Gear Slim, Pro Gear, and the KOP. And make it limited, because there's people that only like the Slim, there's people that only like the Pro Gear, and there's people that, like me, I only prefer the KOP because of my, like my hands,
Yeah.
the section and everything. I mean, I
My
do small pens, don't get me wrong, but I, I, I really prefer that.
my issue is I like the size of a Pro Gear, and I don't like the nib on a Pro Gear. With how shaky my hands are, I find it too soft,
Hmm.
the 21 karat. And so I really like the Pro Gear Slims because they're a slightly harder gold
Hmm.
and they're just easier to use.
Now they're doing them in steel.
I know, but nobody has them in stock yet.
Hmm.
Um, and I have YouTube members have access to it. Everybody else will have access to it at some point, or a version of it at some point. I got my hands on a steel version at Empire.
Hmm.
One of my followers came to find me because they had one, and Bungo Box would not sell me one at DC. And so I got to try it out, and I did my first look of it online because I happened to have the same nib size inked up in a gold nib sailor. And so it's comparing like to like. These are the same nib size, the same pen size. How do they actually feel side by side? It's crazy.
Yep.
It is. I think the biggest thing for me is going to be the cost. I'm hearing a whole bunch of different numbers about cost. And I think cost is really going to be the deciding factor about that pen.
You mean in steel?
Yeah. Well, even the gold nib sailors, like they're not. I think my first sailor pen was bought on Clear Out and was $99.
Right.
That doesn't happen anymore.
No. I don't
Um,
they didn't, I don't even think they had make, how they do the make your own sailor, like pick a section, pick
mhm.
the body colors. I don't even think they're doing that anymore.
They seem to be doing it at pop-up events, but not at pen shows.
And they would make more money at pen shows than maybe pop-up events. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
People and people, I know people that wanted to do that, and they were upset that they didn't have it.
Like, Sailor wasn't even at DC this year.
Nope.
And so at the end of the day, like, for me, it's gonna be a price thing is my deciding factor, which is my deciding factor about any pen is price. And so we'll see. It might get added to my collection, it might not get added to my collection. But I was really happy to get to try one out
Mm-hmm.
because they are a super interesting pen.
The steel.
The steel.
There's nothing wrong with it. I have some Leonardos that I got in. I have a Leonardo that I got in with a steel nib, and it writes beautifully.
This is gonna be really controversial. I think a really well-tuned and polished steel nib
Mm-hmm.
isn't all that different from a gold nib.
No, it's not. I totally agree with that because I have pens that have steel nibs. I enjoy writing with, like I said, these bone crushers are Yovo #6 steel nibs. Now, it's a Yovo #6 nib. If I want to go ahead and put a gold nib in there, I could, but I just they
Yeah.
write beautifully. Why would I want to spend the extra money?
That's the thing. So there was a big discussion on the Canadian Fountain Pen page last night about somebody at Scriptus bought a Heinz pen, and they wanted to know why Heinz pens wrote so nicely. Was it the electroplating? Were they doing something special with their nibs? And I said what I thought was it, and then I talked to Jim, and Jim confirmed that, yes, I was correct. Um, because I had already had a conversation with Francisco about it a couple weeks beforehand, and so I was fairly sure that I knew what the answer was. And so I said, I think that in my comment, I said, I think this is probably why you like this nib so much. Jim Hines tunes every nib. And that, like, yes, a plated nib tends to write nicer. Like,
Mm.
ink just flows nicer over plating for the most part. It's why so many people like the plated Lamy nibs. It's why so many people like other plated nibs. But a well-tuned nib is always gonna write better than a nib out of the box.
Right. Well, and then I heard this, and I don't know how true it is, that when Yova makes nibs, they will sell it to a vendor or pen maker.
Mhm.
And you have the choice of just getting them straight from Yovo, or do you different price points? Just the basic nib, or do you want the nib tuned, or this? So then it comes out to be when the pen, like the pen maker will tune the pen or whatever. But I also, when you think about it, that you can only tune a pen so far before the buyer gets the pen because
Mhm.
everybody's different.
Exactly. So I've heard I know that Bach does that. Bach sells all their nibs untuned. But there are certain people in the pen world that also sell tuned Bach nibs and untuned Bach nibs at various price points.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that it's really easy to tell. One of the videos I'm filming this month for Vlogmas is about how I construct my reviews and why most of my reviews are like straight out of the box first look reviews. And it's because I want people to know exactly what the nib is like out of the box. Because I find that to be a lot of the deciding factor about a pen.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell a lot about how much care a company puts into their pen by how a nib writes right out of the box, in my opinion. Because even a lower end pen brand whose pen writes really well out of the box, I will like that pen far more than a high-end pen brand whose pen does not write out of the box.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I know when I get a Mont Blanc, I have to go give it to Kirk.
Yeah.
You know, they do write out of the box. They just don't write out of the box like I like it to write out of the box.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like, man, this thing is so scratchy, but toothy, whatever, you know, whatever it is. And some people like that. And I'm like, oh God. I said, oh, you know, I just shipped off something to Kirk right now for Peter because Peter bought a pen from somebody. And I'm like, oh, I can't believe you bought that pen from this person because I know how the nib is going to be. So, but he liked the pen, which is fine. So he gets it in and he just shipped it off to Kirk. So I said, I'll pick it up in California. Don't worry about it. You know?
Edison pens right out of the box are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I have one in my collection they have two different lines. They've got like a store collection and they've got their bespoke line. I've got one from their store line and it's still fantastic right out of the box. Like it's a very solid pen.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I don't, you know, even with sometimes Sailor out of sometimes I get a Sailor and it writes great. And other times I'm like, okay, that's a little too scratchy for me. And, you know, off it goes with me to the next pen show to get tuned. I will do a little bit on a lapping sheet, just a very little bit, but I'm out, you know, and I am like afraid sometimes to do it.
Mhm.
I just, I don't, you know, I don't want to screw up my own nib. So
Yeah.
once in a great while,
Mom will floss tines of pens, but other than that, like I'm just gonna pay someone to do the work.
yeah, I floss. I can floss it. It's easy.
There are people that are far more skilled in this industry, and they learn those skills for a reason, and so I'm just gonna pay them for it.
I don't know. I know I've never tried an Edison pen. I know that, you know, I've seen them, I think at DC and stuff, but I have not.
They tend to be at DC and Chicago.
Mm-hmm. So maybe another one to try.
They're pretty pen.
Mm-hmm.
I would say they sort of fall into like the middle high end range in the price point of handmade pens.
Yeah. How many pens do you keep inked at once?
I currently have more pens inked than I want to keep inked.
Mm.
And so I am working on running some stuff dry because this is currently what's in my desk cup.
Okay.
And then I've probably got another 10 pens just scattered around my office. My goal is to never have more than like 6 to 8 pens inked. Mostly because I like to color code notes. But between everything that what I classify as work pens, so pens that I've been using in videos, and pens that I've had inked up for Empire and Scriptus and the Pelican Hub, it's gotten a bit out of hand. And so the current goal is running some stuff dry.
Yeah. In fact, I went to reach for a pen the other day and I'm like, ooh, I'll, you know, wanted to use this pen that I had. And I'm like, oh, it's dry. I can go clean it out.
I'm, you know, a person that we talked about this, I think, on an episode of Desk Chatter. I will clean a pen out when it's not empty.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm bored of the color, it's getting cleaned. If I'm bored of the pen, it's getting cleaned. And there are a couple of these pens in the mug and scattered around my office that when I decide to clean pens in the next couple days will just get cleaned because I'm bored of them. I'm not using them. It's taken me like 2 years, but I have finally labeled the Quality Street Treat tins so that I actually know what pens are where. And
Okay.
so now everything has a home to go into.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure there's people going, what do you mean quality treat tins? My pen storage is really cheap. If you haven't realized yet, this is a budget channel. So the P's, Pilot, Pelican, and no, it's just Pilot and Pelican right now, actually. Like I've got like 12 quality street treat tins sitting next to me, all labeled.
Cool. Oh, but hey, it works. I was at Hobby
There you
Lobby
go.
the other day. I can see that. I was at Hobby Lobby the other day, and I want to go back and get some more because they had some Snoopy tins. But even though
Ooh.
the Christmas carols on it, I don't care.
Yeah,
Because I
like
because they're good for a lot of other stuff.
like the tins themselves are between 25 cents and $1 at the thrift store. The inserts are $12.50 US for 4. And so my entire pen storage solution for my entire collection cost me like under $40 Canadian. And that was the budget I had for it.
The thing is you're making it work for you. And I think it's a cool solution. When we first started doing this, I was using clear acrylic. Yes, they were a little more, price, but start again. Clear acrylic cases, jewelry, like you put jewelry in it or whatever. I got it in a store on sale. And then I went to, I think it's Penn State or whatever to get the inserts. And these are inserts that are big. You can get a package of 12 for whatever they are. I think it's called Penn State. Penn State Industry. Penn, PENN State IND.com. And there is where I get in fact, I have to buy some more and trim them for inserts and stuff because I need a few extras, but in the gray. But where are they? Trays, pen trays. Thank you. I can't even think right now. Come on. Yeah. So the pen trays are, now I get the blue ones.
Ooh.
Which are great. I like the blue ones. No, those are black. Forget it, plastic black. A 4-pack of the trays, slotted flexible pen display 4-pack is $18. But I can get 2. The way I cut them, I can get 2, I think, out of those because those are big trays. There's another company that those are black. I don't know if I want the black. There was another company I found the navy blue ones.
Ooh.
And it was pretty, and I can't remember the company name now, but they were more expensive.
Yeah, mine are gray because they were all I could get at the time. And now I'm committed to the gray, and so my trays are forever going to be gray because if I start replacing some of them with another color, I'm going to want to replace all of them.
Well, that's the problem, and I have a couple that have the blue in there, and most of them are all gray, and it's driving me insane. So now I got to just get another package of gray. So
yeah.
But okay, so was it Serendipity?
I started cleaning a pen a day ahead of ink vent. I'm hoping to get down to 5 pens inked. That is a lofty goal.
Yeah.
I have also given up on getting an ink vent calendar this year. I was going to get the Colorverse one from Atlas. It's not going to happen.
Well,
I don't need more ink.
Right. I uninked 11 pens the other day. So now I'm down to 30 inked. So I need to get down more.
I need to clean some pens.
And my nephew's here this weekend, and thank God he loves pens. And it's like, Jorge, can you please clean these for me?
It's one of those things, like when I start cleaning pens, I want to have all the pens that need to be cleaned. And so I also need to touch base with mom and go, is there anything that in your collection needs to be cleaned? Because if I'm starting this, I'm doing it all.
Right.
I'm
Well,
not
yeah,
doing my pens and then doing hers 2 days later. We're doing everything. We're getting it done in one go, and then it's over.
I have, because I just got some pens in, and of course I want to ink them, and I'm like dying to ink them. And I'm like, ugh. Oh, and I just got the all Leonardo's 6 new inks that came in. They're really pretty. 4 shimmer inks.
I know. That was my thing. I'm not using shimmers a whole bunch, but I liked the base colors of the shimmer inks.
Yeah, and the hot pink. Oh, it's beautiful. In fact, I think I ordered, okay, in all fairness, this pen was ordered back in at the San Francisco Pen Show. So I finally got it in, and it's the abalone celluloid.
Ooh.
Isn't that beautiful? And okay, so this shock of shockers, it will not be getting a shimmer ink in there because I got it in a font with a fine nib for for more like journaling and for my Zentangles. I really enjoy doing Zentangles. Just it makes me happy. Anyway, but look at that feed. Isn't that cool?
That's crazy.
That crazy? So in the rose gold, and I got it in a fine, and I think I'm weird in that I enjoy cleaning pens. Sounds like I'm very alone in that. No, you're not weird.
No, but
Cleaned out the other pens the other day. I had my headphones in and listening to a book, and I got really into it.
my biggest issue with cleaning pens is that some of the stuff I have to clean out is eyedroppered. And so
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if you don't fill. It doesn't really matter. Everybody's like, "Well, don't fill the pen all the way."
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. One of these pens has been eyedroppered for over a year. I've used it a bunch. It literally doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't look like I've actually used all that much ink in it, and I have to say after a year of having this pen on my desk, I'm bored.
Mm-hmm.
So, the ink is gonna go into a pink palette where it's gonna dry down and become just a pile that I can mix with water when I need, a yellowy brown for a background color. But I'm gonna clean this pen because I'm done with it.
Just clean it. Just clean it. I have a few pens on my desk here in my bedroom. I have a
Yep.
desk, and then I have a desk out in the living room area, the big desk that my husband and we have side by side desks. So cute, right? Um, and so anyway, this little pen I got from Mike Daigle. I love Mike.
I
He's so
love Mike.
cute. And it's a vintage pen. It's about almost like 100 years old. And he inked it for me when I bought it from him when we went to the Atlanta show, which I think is, and I just pull it up. It sits on the desk. It's inked, and with let's see, Waterman Serenity Blue, or one of those, right?
Yeah.
It writes. I pick it up, and it just writes. And I love this little pen. It is, it's a little small for me, but I just absolutely love this little pen. So it's not like a pen that I can like write for a long time. It just sits on my desk, and if I need to make a note or take, I can do that.
Yeah.
And it's also really, I want to get a chain for it, I
Ooh.
want to get a chain for it. I should get a little chain, because then wear it. But anyway, but that's the only one. I have a few that, here's a question. I have a few pens that I keep inked all the time, and
Yeah.
those are certain pens that do they count? Do
I
they?
would say no. Like, I don't consider my Smithsonian extra fine a pen that counts towards my inked fountain pen total because at the end of the day, to me, that's just like basically a fine liner for me.
Mm-hmm.
There are pens that like
Mm-hmm.
I've got a preppy floating somewhere around this house. I don't know the last time I used the eyedropper Preppy, but there was a whole bunch of sticky notes in other people's handwriting that they've used the Preppy. So, like, that doesn't really count because that's, like, become a communal pen.
Right.
So I would say, like,
Yeah.
yeah, like, there are some pens that just don't count towards that total.
No, it can't. I just can't because there's certain pens that mean something to me that I
Yeah.
don't. So I'll exercise them, and if I want to use them, I do. But I have some special pens that, in fact, I was just a text message that a pen that I just had made is being shipped out today.
Oh.
And I'm super excited. You know my design that I did, and they were on rickshaw bags, the 3L
Mhm.
everything. And I gave the design to Ariel Kulak, and he's putting it on the body of a Pelican M1000. It is like
Amazing.
I can't believe something like this can actually be done, but yes, it is just and I don't know how it's going to show here, but I don't know if you can see that at all. It's going to be too hard, but can you see maybe I can get a close up of just the body where it shows yeah, oh my God, it's just,
Wow. Oh my god, Claire, that's stunning.
it's going to be, it's
Wow.
amazing. And this Damascus work on the back of the pen, they have the art, is just, so this is it's just his engraving work is just
Yeah.
phenomenal. And so this pen has been, I ordered it a while ago. And so just to get it's finally being shipped out and it's finally done. And I said, oh my God, it's coming in. My birthday's next week. So I said, like the most wonderful birthday present. And, the meaning behind the pen, it's a memory, of our daughter. And her birthday's also next week. She would have been 35. So it's, getting it in, and it's a way of me honoring her and keeping her memory alive, and I talk about it. So
Yeah.
I will finally maybe sit down and do a video on it. So, I will, because I'm passionate about it, and I just hold myself back. So people know, and the one thing about this community is they've been so supportive and so wonderful. And so for Peter and I doing what we do, going to pen shows, it's our therapy.
Yeah.
You know, it is. We've met such amazing people. I mean, seriously, I met you in Chicago over, it's been
2024.
20,
I think
20,
2024 was
2020
my first year at Chicago.
you're in Chicago.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing how, like, people that I met at DC, the first year I went to DC, we go a year later, we're traveling Italy with them for 3 weeks. So, um, it's the people in this community, they're just a lot of wonderful, wonderful people.
It is, and it's such I think back to the things I got to do this year,
Mhm.
and I got to help with the store launch of the Colotino. I got to be behind the booth when we launched it at a pen show. I While we were still at Chicago, Heinz approached me about taking the photos that ended up going into Pen World. And I've never published the photo, but there's a great picture Mom took at midnight of me in our hotel room taking the pictures that ended up in Pen World. And that's sort of crazy to think about. Like, the things that happened this year at the end of the day were so cool.
Mhm. I just think it's just wonderful. And those are the pictures you cherish and you should post, because I think it's your work, and I think
Yeah.
that's cool. All those, I mean, I took a bunch of pictures of when we went to Colorado, and I got to spend the day with Clarissa and Nusha and Sue, and we went up to Boulder, and and we just had a good time walking around Boulder and stuff. And I have those images, and I've never posted them on any social media because right now they're mine,
Yeah.
but I'm going to probably, I'll do something with them or do like a recap, but you don't always have to post everything either,
No. And like I ended up posting the picture of the first time I saw my images in print for my birthday. I posted that picture. But I vividly remember that moment at DC because I had tried for weeks to get a copy of Penworld in Canada, and it was so hard and it was so frustrating because no one here carries it anymore. And I remember walking past their booth, seeing it on the table, and just grabbing a copy because they were handing them out for free. And I knew somewhere in it were my photos. And by the time I got back to our booth, which was only probably 40 feet from where Penworld was, I had found myself in the magazine and I'd seen my name in print, like as a credited artist for the first time. And that's a crazy moment
Mm-hmm.
when you see your name attached to something in print.
Oh yeah, because I used to have a little, photographer up in Boston, and I got asked to photograph some jewelry, and I said, okay, I'll give it a whirl. And to actually have my name, so I know your feeling, and it is the best feeling in the world when like a picture of a bracelet that I took is in Boston Magazine with photographer Clare Coco underneath it.
Yeah.
And that was my first experience of that. Uh, and I've photographed here in South Florida for some entertainers and stuff. I love doing people and stuff like that. And I tell you, like, yes, I got paid for the images, fine, but they're still my images. And I always say, yeah, fine, as long, after the fact, if they wanted to use them for something else other than the job that I did it for, I just say, yes, you can use them, no problem. Just make sure I get credited. But then afterwards, the same images were used again, and I was not asked. They know that I would have said yes,
But still.
the not being asked. And I would have said, yeah, fine, go right ahead. There's I know we're getting off on a little bit of here, but I know you're feeling.
Yeah.
There's the Kravis Center where they do. It's a huge entertainment center, stage, whatever. I've seen Diana Ross there, plays there, big bands, everything, right? A friend of mine and they have different theaters. They have the big theater, and then they have little theaters. And a friend of mine was singing in the little theater, and she asked if she could use one of the photos that I took of her for the advertisement for that. I'm like, yeah, sure. Make sure I just get credit. That's fine. Go ahead. I'm driving down the street, and then they have their big, huge sign, Tron, whatever, where it changes. And all of a sudden, I see my image this big. I mean, it was huge. As I'm driving down the street, I'm stuck in bumper to bumper traffic on Okeechobee, and I pull my phone out and I'm snapping. It was kind of cool. So yes, but yeah. So I get it. I get what you mean when you see it for the first time.
Yeah.
Just like this.
I am somebody who 95% of my work is digital. And a lot of my work, I would say a good portion of my work people never see.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it directly goes back to brands. Some of it never makes it off of edits. But when you see your name in print for the first time in a physical publication you can hold, that's a crazy feeling.
Mm-hmm. Did I got an email from Penworld magazine
Mm-hmm.
apologizing to me. I had no clue. I really seriously did not have no clue because someone took a picture of me at, I think it was the Philly Pen Show last year. And they said the picture was Susan and a customer.
Okay, so I have this copy of Penworld upstairs, Claire, and I remember seeing that and laughing my fucking head off
Right,
because I thought it's not that hard to ask a person what their name is.
right. So I got an email apologizing because somebody from the Netherlands, not Joost, it was somebody
Not
else
Yost.
from Belgium, whatever, wrote in and said, that's not a customer. That is Claire Coco. And they, in the following, the following issue, they fraction an apology.
So I don't know if I have the apology issue, but I do have the issue where they called you a customer, and I thought, like, how hard is it to ask somebody their name?
Yeah. So I thought that was funny and I thought it was cute. And I'm like, so I go to, when I went to Colorado, right? Now, Colorado's a very small show. And this woman, to me, she said, oh my God, I can't believe I'm meeting you. You're Claire Coco. I love, and I appreciated her so much, that, okay, I whether my channel goes anywhere or whatever I do, I'm happy to share. And I just like, oh, I'm just Claire, but thank you. Or
Yeah.
call me Coco. Either one is fine. And, I say I appreciated the woman a lot. So thank you. And they're like, oh, how's Peter? Because Peter thinks he never gets asked about.
No, 100%. And I would say the biggest takeaway I found this year is that after Chicago, I came home and I said, it's fine. Come up to me, say hi. I'm totally happy to take photos, do it, and like that stuff. Just don't come up to me in the bathroom.
No, really?
Yeah, that happened day one of Chicago, and I'm not gonna lie, it really wigged me out.
Mm-hmm.
As a 24-year-old to have somebody to come up to me in the bathroom and start talking about me and telling me how much they loved my channel as I was trying to wash my hands, it wigged me out.
Yeah, I could see
And
that. Come on, I'm in the bathroom. I need a little private time.
I started to just go upstairs every time I had to go to the bathroom, to our hotel room, which is great, but only works if you're staying in the show hotel. And
Mm-hmm.
so when we got home from Chicago, I did say, I am totally happy to say hi, have a chat with people, but there needs to be some form of boundary.
Yeah.
Here is my line. And happily, everyone has respected that this year. I have run into people in the bathroom who have waited until they have seen me on the show floor to talk to me. And it's just like sometimes you just need a second to breathe,
Mm-hmm.
and there needs to be some form of boundary in life. And for me, that means when I'm washing my hands after going to the bathroom, I just want to be able to wash my hands.
When I used to work for a friend of mine, help her out, well, yeah, in casting in Miami. So did a project and she'd say, hey, you want to come down and help me out? And I'm like, oh, sure. I said, but I ended up having to live with her when we were doing projects because there's no way I was driving back from West Palm to Miami. The traffic is horrible. So it was kind of cool. So I always respected, like if I saw an actor or an actress, I would never run up to them or anything like that, kind of. So it's kind of neat, and like always let them, like just like look, like I'll smile and whatever, and then they come up to you. So that's fine. I always respected boundaries, and I'm not saying we're actors or actresses because we're not. We just
No.
media because we like to have fun. But I'm perfectly fine with people coming up and saying, "Hi, how are you?" And I don't mind taking, like, again, I don't mind taking pictures, but like you said, you have to have a little bit of boundary, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
a little bit,
Yeah.
uh, but
And that was the line I drew, and people have respected it the rest of the year at pen shows, and I am very grateful
yeah.
because at the end of the day, I don't think it's a big ask
Well, I know some
or
people,
or an unreasonable ask.
right? You know, like you said, it's always good to stay at the show hotel, which I firmly believe in that. If you can get into the main hotel, yes, stay there because everything's there. But I
Mhm.
know some people choose not to stay at because they want their privacy afterwards.
Yeah, the one thing I really like about staying at the show hotel is it means that I do have a quick sort of escape for a 5-minute break.
Hmm.
If I need 5 minutes, it's really easy to take 5 minutes when you're staying at the show hotel.
Yeah, versus having to get a shuttle or a Uber or whatever it is. So, and oh, here's another topic or question. Now that we're doing the gamut here of everything,
We
right?
are doing the gamut of everything.
Do you daily journal?
No,
No.
not anymore. I have for extended periods of time. I'm going back to it's still not open, the Amanda Rach Lee bullet journal for next year as my calendar because I really like her setup. Um, and my weekly schedule is sort of like a running list, but that is the most I do these
I know
days.
we talked about it before, but I'm wondering about people too that are watching. No, I decided I don't feel guilty anymore. Why do I will, so now I call this journal my brain dump and it sits here.
Yeah,
And I will write when I feel like writing and catch up with it when I feel like it. I don't do it on a daily basis because sometimes I just don't. And sometimes, I mean, I may write a few days in a row and then, so I don't feel guilty anymore. And that's why I like undated planners or undated whatever calendar things. Yes.
100%. So I have a traveler's notebook that's a brain dump journal
Yep.
that goes with me everywhere. It's just one of my inserts,
Yep.
and that's what I use.
And I
But
just, yeah.
I don't feel at this point I don't feel the need
Hmm.
to keep a daily journal, and I find that it stresses me out more than it helps. Because if
Yeah.
I miss a day, I just get stressed and guilty, and I don't need that.
No, someone just sent me a journal for review.
Ooh.
I know. So I opened it, Hemlock and Oak. They sent
Oh,
me,
I've heard of them.
yes, and they're out of British Columbia, Canada. So they're up in Canada.
Yeah, Mark from Mark Your Pages just did a
Yeah.
review of them. I
So,
haven't finished Mark's review yet. I think he was comparing them to Archer and Olive. I'm gonna be honest, I started it and then I sort of stopped paying attention, so I need to go back to the beginning.
yeah, I just got it in, and what I like about it is undated. And so, you know, you can do, you can make it, you can do, they have like the month in review, month overview. They have the week of, they have, or you can use the other part where you just put a date and your intent. So it's like, it's basically undated. So it's not like it's for 2025. You can do daily planning, weekly planning, or I think whatever it is, yeah, you can do whatever you want. And so that part's pretty good. I will do review of it. Uh, my main thing, quarterly planning. Yeah, it's really nice and it's in a hardcover book.
Ooh. So I'm debating about adding this to my setup for next year. This is a mishmash insert. So they're like traveler's inserts, except more expensive and made in Portugal. The funny thing is the leather covers are way less expensive than Traveler's covers. The inserts are almost as expensive as the covers are.
Really?
Yeah, it's it's a thing. But they've got this, like, what they call a free planner, so it's like a calendar planner on one side and
Mhm.
then grid on the other, and I
Okay.
sort of love it. And I'm trying to figure out if I can add this to, like, my planning journaling setup for next year. I'm still undecided. We'll see.
My
I
big
might I might turn it into my video planning setup.
my biggest thing here will be, oh, what's in the back? Year-end review. Okay.
Ooh.
Identify 5 memories from the last year that you would want to cherish. Hmm. So, I will I will do a review on it as far as now,
Mhm.
but I may not start really using it until 2026.
Yeah.
But I want it, my biggest thing, because they have some stuff in the back, is testing the paper.
Mhm.
Testing the paper. And I do like the fact that it is, like I said, it's undated. So I could actually make my year start December 1st. Who knows?
Well, so that's what I've done with my Planbury calendar for the past 2 or 3 years,
Hmm.
is that it's always started November 1st. Because I find that that's when I start to get into talks with people about Q1 projects for the following year,
Hmm.
and so that's when I need a planner for the next year. So I've just always started them November 1st. So I'm sort of in this weird period of time right now where I don't actually have a calendar. Everything's being planned out on, like, whiteboards and sticky notes on my desk because I'm currently calendarless until I open this bullet journal. So I actually need to open it so I can start planning things out.
Okay, so I think that's Amy. Serenity. I'm not sure the picture. Yeah.
I
Um,
don't journal, but I write a lot.
yeah, but
Yep,
not exactly what you call a journal. And don't keep my writings very long. And I've found I do not like bound notebooks.
fair enough.
And then her
Prefer
next.
spiral bound or glue bound at the top or side to peel off pages. I really like top bound pads. They're hard to find though.
Uh-huh.
I've got a couple. I rearranged my desk this week and now I have a paper drawer. This top drawer is all of my fountain pen friendly paper. And I am in love.
Oh, they're very good. Well, I repurposed something, so it's covered here because, but I have it here, and this is where it's all these drawers, and I keep all
Mhm.
my. So it's easy for me to find them now instead of all over the place, right?
No,
Um,
it's
when-
great because
hey, Amy,
it's
how are you feeling? I know you had surgery and everything, and
I like how David is using his journal just entirely for rants, which is basically why I stopped journaling every day because it was just a constant train of rants and
yeah,
that wasn't doing me any good. So I
yeah.
stopped.
No, and then by my bed, I keep, like, if I wake up with from a bad dream or whatever dream it is, I will write it in the book.
Oh, that's smart.
A dream, like, if I have some weird ass dream, much better, fully healed and recently able to drive and go back to work. Very cool. Hey, we're having a meetup on Saturday. You work tomorrow? Are you working though? She just started going back to work. Um, so that's funny. She gets her favorite notebooks from FedEx and Kinko's. Believe it or not.
That's amazing. I am so picky about paper.
Yeah.
The thing is, I'm so picky about paper, but in the realm of fountain pen friendly papers, I don't use people's favorite papers. I love Midori and I love uh oh, what's it called? Endless Regalia. Those are my two favorite papers.
Mm-hmm.
And in the realm of fountain pen friendly papers, those are not the fanciest papers in the industry.
Hey, Amy, send me your email me. Let's start again. Either text me or email me your address, and I will send you your ink that you didn't get from Pelican Hub. I don't know why I can't talk today. Maybe I've had too much coffee.
I am still working on my first cup, and at some point I need to remedy that.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, yeah, so Amy was supposed to come to the Pelican Hub, and Amy let me know that she couldn't come, and because she had to have some surgery. The day, and you send out the notices and you do everything, and then people that said that they were going to come don't show up and didn't let me know.
Annoying.
But I do it at my place, and I count on food and stuff based on who I think are coming, because I get snacks. I don't do food. I just get some snacks and stuff, but still. But we still had a good time. How was your hub?
It was very busy because it was game 1 of the Blue Jays World Series in Toronto.
Ah.
And so every bar, regardless of if it was a sports bar or not, was a sports bar. And so Toronto always has to book out a restaurant. Kat has been doing it for a number of years, booking at a restaurant, because that is how big the Toronto hub is. I think 200 people registered this year.
Wow.
And then there were guest passes. And so 2/3 of a restaurant was us. And then 1/3 he wanted to keep open to his regular clientele because he didn't want to kick them out because it was the World Series game 1. And so Mom and I ended up getting the last booth. And I then texted Aziza and Annabelle and went, "We have a booth," because I knew they were coming to our Pelican Hub as well. And so when they showed up with Matthew Chen, we all squeezed into the same booth. And it was very non-pen. Like, unlike previous years, nobody pulled out pens. Nobody really shared pens. Because by 8 o'clock, our hub was pretty much totally wound down because it was game 1 of the World Series. Oh, Canada had just happened, and everyone was watching the Blue Jays game.
Mm-hmm.
So our hub actually started an hour early this year.
Yeah.
Because they knew it was going to be chaotic. So we started at 6, and then it was really wound down by 8. And then
I was supposed to have 40 people come, and 20 came.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's a big difference.
Well, no, 40 people signed up, and
Okay.
I knew about 40 people had signed up, and I knew about like 28 was supposed to. So, oh yeah, we're coming, and then other people like we're coming, and they didn't, so. Yeah, Amy was at the one last year I did, and we had fun this year too. So it was.
So again, it was still fun. It was game 1 of the World Series. As Annabelle said, she had never felt more patriotic than in this very crowded restaurant turned sports bar in Toronto, where
Oh, they were trying to think. Oh, they were there for Scriptus.
They were there for Scriptus. It was Scriptus weekend, and so Matthew was in town for 2 days at Wonder Pens, followed by Scriptus.
That's what I was going to ask you. So that in Toronto, was it called Wonder Pens?
Wonder Pens.
It's just a pen shop, right?
It is. It's a lovely pen shop.
Okay.
We're spoiled with pen shops in the city, as I discover, because we have Wonder Pens, House of Fine Writing, Toronto Pen Shop, Leywins, Gortzmans, who sells fountain pens, Midoku, who sells fountain pens, DeSerres, who carries fountain pen inks, and I believe there's one other.
Yes, really spoiled here in South Florida. We nothing. I take that back. We got Orlando fountain pen, but that's 2 hours away from me.
Yeah.
But here in South Florida, I mean, I got the Mont Blanc store, but I'm not going there on a daily basis.
No, and we have 2 Mont Blanc boutiques. Like, it is, and I'm forgetting some other stores that also carry fountain pens and inks. Like, we are so spoiled for pen stores in the city,
Yeah.
and I'm so grateful because it also means, like, when one person doesn't have what I'm looking for, I just go somewhere else.
Yes.
But,
These are all Canadian prices.
they're all Canadian prices. And I would say it used to be that it was a lot cheaper for me to buy things in the States. Oh, and
It's
mom has just
just-
chimed in. I forgot about Bleskett, which is out by Pearson's. Bleskett is lovely. I love Bleskett.
Mhm.
It's tiny. It's a hole in the wall. The first time we went, we thought this cannot possibly be where a pen store is, and they're fantastic.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm looking at their website. I'm wondering if it's in US dollars or Canadian dollars.
Wonder Pens?
Yeah, and the only reason why I ask is just because they have the Pelican 805 metal sleeve for 971. I don't know if that's Canadian.
Well, let's see what it's showing up for me.
Okay. I mean, I do have it. It's a beautiful pen. I just got it in. But I'm wondering if it's 971 Canadian. Echo, what is 971 Canadian dollars to US?
$971 is about 688 US dollars and 7 cents.
Wow, 688. It might be cheaper for me to buy it in Canada.
Nope, you're seeing it in USD. It's $1,343 for me.
Oh, you know what? I just scroll down to the bottom and okay, USD. All right. Ah, damn, I was getting all excited.
Well, so what I was going to say is it used to be way cheaper for me to buy paper and traveler's inserts in the States. Like, I used to import all my paper from the States.
Yes.
It was way cheaper. And I was planning on doing it in a couple weeks because I had some Atlas affiliate to get used up.
Yeah.
And this weekend, or I guess last weekend now, Dad and I went down to Madoku in the beaches, and they, are pretty much totally stocked with traveler's inserts, which was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But their prices were on par with US shops.
Right.
Which means normally there's about a 40% difference because the exchange right now is $1.40. So $1 US buys you $1.40 Canadian, except on traveler's inserts, the same price at Atlas was the same price I was seeing on the shelf in Toronto.
Okay.
Because the US ones are tariffed to such an extent right now that it doesn't make sense anymore for me to buy my paper in the States because they are 40% more expensive for me to buy them in the States.
Mm-hmm.
So for the first time ever, at least in my experience, fountain pen paper is actually cheaper in some cases in Canada than it is in the States, which was a crazy realization last weekend.
Wow. Yeah, that it's if I traveled to Canada and bought it and didn't declare it coming back.
Well, so when Mom and I travel to the States and
Mhm.
when Canadians travel to other foreign countries, we have a limit of what we're allowed to bring back.
Right.
And it changes depending on how long you're away. Does the US have that limit still, or did they get rid of that as well?
No, it's gone.
You guys don't have an out-of-country limit anymore?
Nope. I don't know. I don't know. And the reason why I say that is because it was always like the $800 limit.
Apparently, you've still got an $800 travel limit.
Travel limit. Okay, yes, it's $800.
Yeah.
And most of the time, like when Peter and I got back from Europe and stuff, you know, Peter had, because for long airport stuff, he still has to use a chair because it's just
Yeah.
easier, right? And because it's just too much. So
Oh,
you go,
Claire, preaching to the choir here.
right. So
Like-
sometimes I get it. Sometimes I have to get it. So we're like, but I used his walker, and he was in a, you know, because of my foot issues. But yes, so going through there, and then you go through customs in your wheelchair. Do you have anything to clear? Nope. Okay, go.
I honestly, I don't know what I would do without airport golf carts.
Yeah. Oh my
Be-
God. We were like,
Because
Right.
I do really well on the trip there. I'm really good on the trip there.
yeah,
But after 3 or 4 days at a pen show, once the adrenaline has worn off, once everything is all said and done, it's the like getting through the airport on the way home, normally very early in the morning,
right.
and then having to get off of a plane once I'm all stiff.
Oh yeah.
And then at least at Pearson, depending on where we're flying in from, we are landing on a tarmac where you have to go down a very steep set of stairs,
Mhm.
which is not particularly easy for me, followed by a 10 to 15 minute walk through an airport to get to customs.
Yeah. No.
Not happening.
When we flew into, now, mind you, our travel agent knew we were taking Peter's walker, knew it's like slightly, you know, he can walk without the walker, but not very, no, like through an airport, no, he needs the wheelchair.
Yeah.
And, you know, handicap. So we we land in Frankfurt, and then we have to get on the next plane to, you know, to Venice. So wherever, we're flying in. And so we get into Frankfurt now, and we're on, you know, it's an overnight flight from Miami to Frankfurt. We get up, you know, we get off the plane. Now we got to get to the next plane. They come and get the wheelchair and the whole bit, and now we're walking forever. I mean, doing elevators, doing this, do that. We finally get to the gate now to take us to the next flight, to our next destination. The plane is on the tarmac, and we have to go down 3 flights of stairs. I'm like, where do you get? He's handicapped. We have the walker. He's in a wheelchair, and we have carry-ons.
Yeah.
How am I going to take those down 3 flights of stairs? And they said, well, you know, we can make arrangements, but then you're going to miss this flight. And I'm like, I can't miss this. Oh, because we're going to Amsterdam. I said, I can't miss, you know, I have appointments. There's just no way. So Peter said, I can. Peter could walk down the stairs. He said, I'll just do the stairs. Fine. But I got to carry his walker. We got to bring the bags down. So luckily there were other young men there that were going on the flight, and they helped us. You know, thank God. Now they take us onto the trolley to get to the plane. I fall getting on the bus because I tripped. I couldn't, you know, whatever. Fall number 1. Then we get to the plane, and of course we got to walk up with all the stuff, right? I'm like, oh God. So we do it, and fine. Thank God when we get, he's like, this is ridiculous that they have the whole tarmac thing. So that's what it was. We flew into Frankfurt to Amsterdam. Then when we left Amsterdam, we had to use another airline. That was no problem getting into Italy. Coming back, it's like, you're almost like, okay, and I said, where do you get that he's handicapped? No stairs.
Yeah. So I would say our two most interesting situations both happened on the same trip this year. One was on the way and one was on the way back.
Mm-hmm.
So on the way to Empire, we are flying out of Pearson, but we're flying on Delta because Air Canada had been threatening to strike and then had been on strike, and so we were not flying Air Canada.
Mm-hmm.
everything about Delta had gone really, really smoothly. And then we got our gate assigned, and I went, oh, I know what gate we're flying out of. Because there are lower gates at Pearson where you go down an escalator, and then once you're in the basement, you load from the tarmac, and you can either load with a wheelchair ramp or you can load with a set of very steep stairs. And I knew how this went because the previous year when Dad and I flew to Chicago, we flew Porter out of the island, and Porter only has very steep stairs. And so Dad and I had already troubleshot this. We had figured this out. We'd had 2 flights of figuring out, how do I safely do these stairs? And the way to safely do them is that somebody takes bags up, and then they come back and they get me, and they walk behind me to make sure I don't fall backwards. Which is a whole mess. It holds up the boarding process. It's not particularly enjoyable, but I am unsteady on my feet, and the stairs are really steep, and I have crutches. The other thing is a flight attendant has to take the crutches because you can't use the crutches on the steps. The stairs are too skinny to use the crutches and walk up them.
Plus, they have holes, don't they? Some of them have holes.
Some of them have holes, exactly. Like, it's a mess. And so I'm waiting for Mom, and this lovely guy in a Delta uniform comes up to me and he says, what can we do to help you? And I say, I need somebody to take my crutches, and I'm waiting for my mom because we've done this before, and I can't go up these steep stairs without somebody behind me to make sure I don't fall backwards. He calls one of the flight attendants, they take my crutches, and he helps me up the stairs. Turns out he's the pilot of our flight and had been doing our safety check. And like they talked to Mom. Mom was coming back, and like they talked to her and went, oh no, we've got her sorted. Delta was great. On our way back, we are flying out of LaGuardia. We've got our Nexus cards. I've got disability pre-clearance because knee brace, crutches, meds, it all takes time. And the big thing about my leg is that the more I walk on it and the more I irritate it, the more swollen it gets. So by the Monday, after being in New York for 5 days, getting my knee brace on so that I could walk was a real struggle. Didn't want to go on particularly well. So imagine my joy when security went, we need you to take that off. And I went, if I take it off, I'm not getting it back on. And they went, what do you mean? And I went, part of my leg is dead. My leg is really swollen. If I take it off, it's not going to fit when I try and put it back on. And this went back and forth for a very long time.
Right.
Far too long. Because normally what happens is they swab my hands, they swab my crutches, they swab the knee brace inside and out to make sure that I'm not smuggling drugs in my knee brace. And then they let me go. So for anyone who thinks traveling with a disability is easy, it's not.
It's definitely not. I mean, I know. Oh, because I have the knee replacement issue.
Yeah.
Every time I go through this, I have to go through the scanner, like, and I put my hands up, the machine. And I don't know what it is. I got metal in my knee. I think we talked about this before. It shows that I got metal in my crotch. And I'm like, and someone said it's because your pants may be too loose. Make sure you pull them up really tight. So I did that, and I was fine. Right? Then the next flight, I said, oh, wait a minute, let me pull my pants up. Same thing. It shows that I look like I got something in my crotch when I got metal in my knee. It's really weird.
I am so grateful to be at a stage that I can travel again. And there are parts of it that are a total nightmare. Like, I have to take this made Drew really laugh when I told him, I have to take my ice picks off my crutches. And Drew went, why do you have ice picks on your crutches? And I have
Oh,
ice
yeah,
picks on
because you live in Canada.
because I live in Canada and because ice picks are also really good for climbing hills. Like if you're trying to go up hills, then you've got little spikes, like you've got cleats. Ice picks are great. I can't fly with my ice picks on my crutches. So if I fly, my ice picks have to come off my crutches. Like it's just there's so many logistics to traveling with medical complications that people don't expect. And it's mom and I either have trips like where we have no problem, or we have trips like flying home from Empire where it's like, here is this very long discussion about why I can't take my knee brace off, including like the supervising agent for TSA coming over and trying to decide if I was actually allowed to fly or not.
Mm.
And it was like, if I
See, look at all the things we do and go through to get to a pen show. And then they look at your pens and they want to know if they're like, you know, like you have to take everything apart because some people don't know what these fountains are, right? And so it's like, yeah. So it's like all these things that we do to travel.
Yeah.
Or pen shows.
Like at the end of the day, I don't travel with a wheelchair. I don't travel with liquid medication. And any of the medical equipment I travel with that's electronic is small. And so in this grand scheme of what I deal with traveling with medical equipment, I am not dealing with the worst of it.
Right.
But
Peter doesn't take his CPAP with them because it's a pain in the ass.
it is. Like I was complaining to mom about it a couple days ago. So when you fly, where do you think my crutches have to be stored?
In the overhead compartment.
Mm-hmm. Guess what spends a flight banging into them?
Other luggage.
Mm-hmm. Guess what's now making a really weird noise when I walk with them?
And your crutches.
My crutches.
Yeah, because I put my cane up there. Sometimes I take if I'm having a flare up, I take the cane. Usually, sometimes I travel with the cane, because you know if I'm having a bad flare up and my ankles would be like whatever, RA, I can't like walk. But I'm not giving up going to a pen show because I'm having a flare up. I go to the doctors and I say, shoot me up like the Tin Man, please. He said, I get that a lot lately from a lot of my patients. I said, well, at least you know what I mean by shoot me up like the Tin Man.
Like if I'm lucky, there is a first class coat closet and it's a fairly empty first class flight and the flight attendants will put them up in there.
Yep.
In which case, my crushes will not spend an entire flight being banged into by suitcases. If I'm unlucky, they do spend an entire flight being banged into. And they now make a weird noise when I walk with them, which is really pissing me off because I don't like the noise they make right now.
Can you put them in a padded bag when you get on the plane?
I probably could, but I don't actually know who makes any bag for them.
Well, like, you know, like, okay, so they have gun rifle cases and stuff. I mean, seriously, you can get something probably fairly inexpensive, like going to like a Walmart or something like that and getting something like a duffel bag that might.
Yeah, that is true. I hadn't actually considered that as an option.
They're not as big as hockey sticks.
No, they're not. The issue is that the cups on top are actually fairly wide.
Oh yeah, because
I have forearm crutches.
Yeah.
And so the cups on top are fairly wide.
And they can't be removed.
You need a screwdriver and a wrench to remove them.
Anyway.
And so there's no, I did have a flight attendant once on a flight ask me to disassemble them completely. And I did say no. I went, I don't have the tools to do that.
Yeah, I mean, really. I mean, some people just have a little compassion or like a little, like, know that they can't come apart.
Well, they like
They can, but you can't.
they can, but I can't easily.
No.
And I'm gonna have a whole bunch of little tiny pieces, and I need some tools to do that.
So here's like a thing. It's like, okay, so, coffee and pens and but we discuss everything here.
We discuss everything.
Everything. Also because you just never know what's, like the behind the scenes about what you have to prepare to go to a pen show. Like between, like you said, your medications. That I have to think about that. And I also, because I take one med once a week, I got to make sure that if it's on the day, if I'm traveling, during that time, but make sure that I take it with me because it's once a week. I mean, all these other things you go. Plus the fact, okay, I way overpacked this time because I thought to Colorado because I thought we were, gonna have because I went days earlier than the pen
Mhm.
show. We had plans of like meeting up and doing some journaling, and I brought some supplies with me, thinking I was going to get some journaling done while I was away. And you know what? I'm not taking that stuff with me anymore. I'll take my basic notebook or basic journal, but to do anything creative or whatever, I don't need to be bringing washi tape and stickers and anything like that. And I'm going to try to do that the next time I travel and see if I miss it or whether I should have brought it. Sometimes you bring something and then you're like, oh, I didn't bring something. And to take my once a week. Thank you, Claire, for reminding me to take my once a week medicine by mentioning that. Well, you're welcome, David. I still have to take my morning meds because they're sitting over there and I forgot I haven't taken, well, not, it's fine.
It was when I was heading downstairs to do this that I looked at my side table and I went, "Oh shit, I didn't take my morning meds with breakfast."
Oh,
Which was part of the reason I was almost late this morning, that and my laptop crashing. But it was, I spent going back to like the whole time thing, and the time, but also like in a way like overpacking. I start packing for a pen show probably 10 days before we leave for a pen show because there are some things that I cannot forget.
right.
Like clothes. If I forget to pack clothes can be replaced.
Well, that's, thank God I lost the weight because now it's like if I forget something clothes wise, I can go to a normal store and buy something.
Yeah.
Where years
Yeah. Meds are not as easy to replace in a foreign country.
Nope.
Like there are some things that I just cannot forget. And so it's like I have a master packing list that is actually it's broken down by what bag it has to go in because for traveling internationally there's some stuff that has to go in your carry-on.
Well, you don't even think about this. Seriously, I forget that you are in a different country. I sometimes do. Because Canada, yes, is actually in a foreign country.
It is.
So, but it's easy to get to, and it's easy to get to the States, which is kind of nice. And
Yeah, like in reality, you are a 2.5-hour flight from us.
Yeah.
Or you and I are a 2.5-hour flight from each other. But
right. I used to drive to Toronto and to Montreal from when I lived up in Boston.
Yeah.
I could do that. Now, not from Florida so much.
No,
but like, but it's a long drive. And I said to Peter, I can't do long drives anymore. This last time when I went to Atlanta this year.
Mm-hmm.
I said that I'm not doing it again. I can't, because it, I drove straight through, and it's just too long of a drive for me. I could have stopped, but getting out of the state of Florida is 7 hours from where I live to get to the border.
Oh,
Carolinas. So just getting out of no, it would be Georgia. Okay, so yes, so getting out is, but to go up to Atlanta, that was a far drive. It was like 10 hours,
yeah.
and I can't do this anymore. And I do all the driving, so no way.
It's like, I want to say it's 9.5 to the Chicago hotel
Hmm.
for us. Nine
Yeah.
and a half, 10, which isn't awful. We tend to leave fairly early in the morning, which means we're at the Chicago hotel by like mid-afternoon.
Yeah.
On the past last year, we went in on the Wednesday, which was nice because it meant that we sort of got a day to get settled. And it meant I think I filmed a couple interviews Wednesday night before the show really like setup started on Thursday. But I don't mind a long car drive as long as it's I don't like so we had a drive recently that it was really, really foggy, and I get really claustrophobic in the fog.
Hmm.
As long as it's not really foggy and gross outside, I'm fine for a long car ride.
Yeah, I can't. I have to stop frequently to get up and because I get in pain from sitting
Oh,
so.
yeah. No, like Mom and I stop probably like every hour and a half, 2 hours.
Does Amsterdam still run from Florida to Atlanta? My mom and I took the train to Florida I think it does,
That's cool.
but the cost of doing, we still need a car. So I mean, I know there's trains where you can put your car on too, but we have so much, like when it's kind of really hard to try, to do that. If I was going by myself, then I would look into it. But when traveling with Peter, it's just easier to take the car.
Yeah.
But for Orlando and stuff for me, because it's 2.5 hours to Orlando for the Orlando Penn Show. That's not bad. But sometimes when I go to Orlando by myself, I take the train. So there's the train. It's 2 hours, and then I usually make my nieces pick me up because they work at Disney. So I'm like, come get your aunt. So, and that works. And then when I go visit Suzette down in Miami, I take the train. I'm not
Okay.
traffic. Miami, Suzette is about 80 miles south of me. And you can figure, okay, 80 miles is not too bad. It could be like an hour and a half. There's so many accidents and so much traffic in Miami that it could take me 3 hours. So I'm just better off taking the train down, and then, even taking the train down and then taking an Uber to where I have to go, or have Suzette pick me up. You're still in the car for another 45 minutes. It's terrible. And they're building so much in Miami. So many buildings are going up that they're not doing anything for traffic or for parking whatsoever. It's terrible. So many buildings going up, and it's just overcrowded. I need some breathing space.
Yeah, that's fair. I feel the same.
You
I
know,
don't like being claustrophobic.
no. At least I can see out, and I don't have. Yes, right now I'm looking at, because the way I'm sitting, I'm looking at the building next door to me, but it's not on top of me, like in like tenements and stuff
Yeah.
like. So, but breathing room. Okay, my dear, we've been on for 2 hours.
I know. I just looked at the time and realized I'm about to miss post office cut off, and I have 2 packages to go, or 3 packages to go out, including one for David.
Oh.
So I need to run to the post office and ship Christmas card orders. And
Stuff town because we have meetup tomorrow, and I want to go through all my inks and get rid of some of these bottles that I don't like the color. And
that's daring, Claire. You've got a lot of ink.
I do. I've already flipped through the books when I was putting in some of the new ones that I did.
Mhm.
And like I get final say. I said, no, you don't. If we haven't used the ink and it looks same like everything else, and I don't like it, if an ink is too light or too dark, like if it almost looks like black, why am I going to use a green ink that looks black?
Yeah.
And I said, okay, so don't tell Peter you're giving ink away. He already kind of knows. He's going to see him tomorrow at the table when they'll be there, some of the inks. I'm like, I don't like this ink. Why do we keep this? I have to make more space.
Yeah.
I do have the Colorverse, and I wasn't going to get the diamond ink pen. I was like, no, I'm not doing it. And so I did get it during fountain pen day.
I still sort of want the Colorverse one, but if I get the Colorverse one, I'm not going to get it until like, I don't know, sometime in the spring.
I did get the one. I'll let you know. I have. So I'm trying to think. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to swatch each day and post it on Instagram. I'm not going to post it on YouTube. I'll just, or do I just do the whole thing? There's spoilers out there.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some of the spoilers already because people just opened them up and did it. So I don't know what to do.
I've been avoiding the spoilers, but I really liked the Colorverse calendar last year, and so I'm still trying to decide if I spend some of my affiliate credit on the Colorverse one to open it up in the spring. Because my fear is I buy it and then I absolutely hate the colors this year.
Well, I didn't like the colors from Diamine, or I liked one or just a couple of them. But then again,
yeah, my issue is I really liked the Colorverse colors last year, and I didn't get the calendar, and then I ended up buying a lot of the colors from people on the secondhand market when they were getting rid of their bottles.
Yeah. So I'm trying to decide, and then I was trying to decide of a unique way of doing it too, of swatching them and showing them, and I'm like, why am I overthinking this? I'll just swatch it and say, this is today's color. Why do I don't have to be, whatever. So
Yeah.
someone said do a Zendangle of each block, each square, do a different color each day. And I'm like, I could and just do it with my drill log because I don't have to ink up a pen. I love that drill log. That's like
they posted one last night. Not a drill log. Ink Mascara posted one, like the crazy Japanese like ink one thing. Oh, they're so expensive, and I want one so badly.
They just came out with one that's like a fude. Yeah, it's very nice. I'm wondering if they're going to be in California.
I don't know.
I don't know either, but they are. But I love my drill log that I have.
I would say ask Frank or bug Frank.
In fact, I got a text Frank because he's supposed to be shipping me something and he was busy. I'm like, where is my something? So,
yeah, bug Frank.
I got to bug Frank.
And then ask him if they're coming to California.
I will. All right. See you later.
All right. Bye.
And then decide, are we going to do December or?
I think as long as we do it early enough in the month, we can.
Yep. I'm available after the 9th, and then I'm open the whole time.
So do you want to do it the Friday between the 9th and before Christmas?
Yeah. We'll figure it out. Just send me
like the 17th. Is this Friday between the two?
Maybe? I think so. Okay. Yeah, so we'll figure it out. I think so.
Right.
Anyway, ciao for now, as I always say.
Bye.
I thank for everybody who came in